Hey everyone, welcome to Find Your Flow. I am Natalie and you're watching day 6 of Feel. We have a juicy little practice to get all of the body moving in a no judgment, amazing way. So hop onto your mat and I'll meet you there. Jumping right in everyone, finding our mountain pose, feet on the ground, hips distance apart, toes tracking forwards. Find that soft bend in the knees. Release the shoulders from beneath the ears and rest the hands wherever feels most comfortable for you right now. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze. We're going to inhale in through the nose, exhale out the mouth. 2 more times. Keeping this long, complete, full inhale and emptying our exhale out completely. Once more. Coming to our natural breath in and out of the nose. Really being aware of the ribs and of the lungs expanding as we breathe in and releasing as we breathe out. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel this connection to the earth, like the roots of a tree coming all the way from the feet to the ankles, through the legs, through our pelvis, our trunk and our center, all the way to the arms, the shoulders, neck and crown of the head. Can our attention be in this space? As we let our breath lead the way. Keeping the eyes closed or opening them as we start to roll through the wrists and through the neck, really slowly, just oiling out the joints. Sending them one way and then in the opposite direction. This is a little bit yoga for the brain, sort of like a rubbing your tummy, patting your head moment. So just breathe here and just move in a way that feels good, embracing and appreciating the clicks and the pops you might be feeling, and then coming back to center, shaking out the hands. As we plant down through the left leg, we'll reach the right leg off the ground, bending the knee and reaching it maybe a little taller as we start to circle through the ankle. Arms can stay by our sides or interlacing the hands, reaching the palms for the sky. Keep the shoulders soft. Sending the ankle one way and the other way. Releasing and planting down through the right leg, lifting the left leg, finding your circles here. Notice where you want the arms to be. Keeping lifting out of the hip of the standing leg. So if we're collapsing here, we notice this press away through the heel into the ground. And release all the way down, mountain pose. On your next inhale, lift the arms, reach for the sky. Exhale, slowly rolling down into our fold. As you inhale, lift up halfway, your version of a flat back. And exhale to fold forwards, rooting down to rise all the way up to standing, reaching the arms, and then softening into cow arms. So taking the left hand, reaching it around to the top of the back body, and the right hand comes under and reaches towards the center. Now, if the hands don't touch, that's okay. We can use our strap here or our tie. Just breathing into this space as we keep the shoulders soft. And then releasing, coming on to the other side. And really be present. Notice how one side might feel really different to the other. So take your strap or tie if you need to. Find one more breath. And then releasing, reaching the arms wide and folding forwards, diving down. Feeling this wave in the spine. Inhale to lift up halfway, your flat back. Exhale to fold. Root down to rise up, arms reach for the sky. And this time keeping the arms lifted, taking a nice breath in And breath out. Option here to come onto the tiptoes. Ooh, yeah, waking up all of that space around the feet. One more breath here. And releasing as we roll down to the ground. Nice. Inhale, lift up halfway, your flat back. Exhale, release and fold. Rooting down to rise up. Arms reach for the sky. And soften down by our sides. But lifting the right arm up back towards the sky. Just the right arm. We'll float the left hand down the left leg. Option to stay here or take our weight over onto our left leg. Just testing our balance here. Keeping this connection to the ground. Reaching through the side body. One more breath. And then releasing. Left arm floats towards the sky. Right hand down the right leg. Option to stay here as we fold over or take the weight over into the right leg. Notice how this shifts how we feel in this posture. Taking a breath in. As we breathe out, releasing, arms float wide, reach for the sky and folding all the way down into our fold. Nice. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to release from the front of our mat. We'll plant the palms, step or hop the feet back into a plank pose. Knees lifted or lowered, yogi's choice. Everybody keeping the shoulders forwards over the wrists, elbows float behind us, coming down to the ground. Feet float wide as we plant the palms by the ribs. Heart space lifts forwards, cobra. Softening all the way back, pressing through the palms lightly as we lift to a tabletop, but then tuck the toes under and sit the hips back on the heels. Start to find circles through the body, coming forwards, around and back. Keep those toes tucked. Moving in both directions. Really feeling through the spine. And then coming back to center, all fours. Wrists beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, toes untucked. Finding a few cat-cows. So rolling the tailbone down, arching through the spine, dropping the gaze, cat pose. And then lifting the tailbone, tummy floats down, lifting our gaze, cow pose. Nice, moving here, floating with your breath. One more time. Before coming back to your neutral spine, tucking the toes under, sitting on the heels. Arms reach out. As we press down, we'll float the hips high, lifting downward facing dog. Pedal through the heels. And then bring the feet together in the center of your mat. As we float the hips over to the right, we'll bend the knees, almost like we're sitting down in the ground, but then lifting back up. Hips float over to the left, and we rise like a corkscrew from side to side. One more time to each side. Really feel the knees generously bending. Keep the hands consciously on the ground, coming back to center when you're finished, downward facing dog. Floating the left leg off the earth behind you, three-legged dog. Then bending the left knee, hovering it forwards towards the nose, rounding through center, and stepping up, taking your back foot nice and wide as we rise into a lunge. Nice. Soften the arms into cactus arms. And then floating the hands back behind us as we lengthen the front leg, reach a little taller. And exhaling, bend the front knee, palms float together, we round 2 more times. As we lengthen, we reach back with the hands. Exhale, curl forwards, nice. Once more, keep the back heel reaching away. Gorgeous, float back to center, pivot on the back foot, spiral the ribs over to the right, bringing the forearm down to the thigh, side angle pose, right hand spirals open. And we're going to find some movement in the right arm, finding our windmills. So rolling it forwards, all the way towards the sky, back and to the ground. 2 more times this way. Nice. And then 2, 3 times in the opposite direction. Rather than just feeling this from our shoulder joint purely, can we experience this through our ribs as well, and our front body and the side body? Nice. Whenever you've finished, coming back into your side angle pose, pressing down to rise up, warrior 2, arms reach. Then taking our cow arms, Gomukhasana arms. So taking, if the left leg's forward, we'll take the right hand towards the top, left hand underneath. Take your strap if you need to. Feel the feet firmly rooting down, front knee bend, back leg stays long. 1 more breath here. Before releasing, pivoting on the back foot, right hand down, left hand reaches into a twist. Gorgeous. Find 1 more breath here. Before releasing, planting the palms, stepping back to your plank pose, knees lifted or lowered, shoulders over the wrists, bending down to the ground, rising cobra, lifting the heart, and releasing, planting through the palms, and making your way to your downward facing dog. Pedaling through the heels, now the right leg reaches back, 3-legged dog. Bending the right knee, hovering it forwards towards the nose, and then stepping all the way up into your lunge. Planting down, rising up, hands reach. And then as we float the fingertips behind us, we'll lengthen the front leg, take a nice breath in. As we breathe out, curling forwards, bending the knee, moving here with your own breath. Feel the blood flowing. And coming back, pivoting on the back foot, hands to the ribs as we find our side angle pose, windmills. 3 times one way, 3 times the other way. Where is your attention here? Are we dumping all of our weight into our right thigh? Can we keep the right forearm nice and light? Whenever you finish, come back to your side angle pose before lifting warrior 2. And taking cow, arms on the other side. So our left hand comes to the top, right hand underneath. Really feeling this space, enjoying this moment. Taking 1 more breath here. Before releasing and pivoting onto our twist, left hand down, right hand reaches. Softening back, planting the palms, stepping into your plank pose, coming down to the ground, finding cobra. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, soften and lift back into your downward facing dog. Finding 1 breath here. And then walk the hands back to the feet into a fold. Walking our feet a little bit wider, turning the toes out. As we bend the knees, we'll come to sit back in a generous Malasana, yogic squat. Take what support you need, maybe bricks underneath the heels or something underneath the bottom. Hands can be at the heart like mine are, or maybe on the ground. Really listen to what feels comfortable for your body. Just sending some extra love to the hip space for 1 more breath. Before lengthening the legs, reaching back into our fold. Inhaling to lift up halfway, your version of a flat back. Exhale to release. Rooting down to rise all the way up to standing. Arms reach for the sky. Keeping the arms reaching, option to rock onto the tiptoes. Breathing here. And everybody softening the heels down, keeping the feet hips distance apart, palms together at the heart as we send our sitting bones behind us, Chair pose, keeping this length through our spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Notice where the pelvis is. Is it rocking forwards or back? Can we find that space in the center? Nice. Breathing in. Breathing out. On your next in-breath, lengthen the legs, palms stay together, open overhead. As you breathe out, coming back down, chair pose. 2 more times, lifting and releasing. Once more, smiling. And coming back, Utkatasana, thumbs towards the heart space towards the thumbs. Now we can stay here, and we have a couple of different options. We might like to find a flying chair, so rocking onto the toes, off the heels, fingertips floating behind, or maybe we explore bringing our weight to our right leg. Crossing the left ankle over the top of the right thigh, and bending down, sitting a little lower in our chair, in our figure 4. And breathing here. Lovely. And if we've done this on one side, we come to do this on the other side. Crossing the right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Maybe this is for today or 10 years from now. So just enjoy this. We can always come to the wall or a chair for support for our balance. Notice that we aren't popping into the hip, rather keeping the hips nice and strong, the connection to the earth. And everybody releasing both feet on the ground. One more breath here before folding forwards, hugging opposite hand to opposite elbow as we sway from side to side. And planting the palms, stepping or hopping the feet back into your plank pose. And you can come down to a cobra and then a down dog, or you can just lift straight to down dog, or maybe you find a child's pose with the knees wide apart, feet together, sitting the hips back on the heels. So choose your own adventure wherever you are. Meeting either in down dog or child's pose. And we have a few options how we can end our practice today. We could always finish in a child's pose if this feels great for you, or we can make our way, as always, to the ground in a Shavasana, lying flat on the earth, or lifting our hips up onto some support and finding a seat. Choose where you are today. Listen to your energy. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze. Either keeping the hands where they lie or floating the palms together at the heart. Honoring the divine light in each and every one of you practicing within the Find Your Flow community with me today. I thank you so much for your time and for your energy. And from my heart to yours, Namaste.